So while there is no approved test and no approved cure for post-exertional malaise, there are treatable aspects of this clinical phenomenon that can improve people's quality of life.
So then you're saying that if we try and diagnose things in the office that might be associated with post-exertional malaise, like, for example, I guess we could use a NASA lean test,
Mhm.
and people can also do that at home with somebody for safety. Or I know for muscle activation syndrome, doing simple things like rubbing on someone's skin in a particular way can cause a reaction. So that might be an indicator. So by finding associated things, as well as listening to the patient in the office, and maybe looking at a consensus sort of definition for post-exertional malaise, which we'll include in the show notes, bringing all of that information together could make the diagnosis in the office. And I guess that would take a series of consultations if you're only given 10 minutes to see a patient, or maybe doing a double slot each time for that. What about keeping a journal, the person, the sufferer, keeping a journal of what's happening to them? Does that help at all?
Absolutely. And it certainly helps me as a physical therapist. And this sort of gets into what the physical therapist, occupational therapist can do to help. That ultimately journaling serves as a cornerstone of pacing programs, and pacing being balancing activities with rest. Again, trying not to tax the gas motor that's dysfunctional, we've identified already, and trying not to over rely on the battery. What we see is that there are pencil and paper ways to do it. As simple as just keeping a flip notebook, and 3 or 4 times a day when you remember it, just the time of the day, what you're doing, and how you feel. You know, over time that data accumulates. With brain fog, it's really difficult to journal and to keep track of things. But if we can allow the paper to remember for us, then that can be very helpful. And of course, there are apps on the market now that are very good for this, in terms of journaling, in terms of pairing biometric data with kind of concurrently with symptoms, so that people can draw those relationships without having to put in a lot of work to remember what's happening.